Candace Owens. Girl, you are lost. You are a sheep. You need to become a goat. You know, when a goat stands on a cliff, the wind can come, the rain can come, the enemies can come, predators can come, but the goat will remain on the cliff until that last piece of rock falls from under the goat's foot, from under his hoof. A sheep is somebody that follows anything and anybody. Your shepherd was murdered years ago. The person that murdered your shepherd is now wearing your shepherd's cloak and carrying his staff. That is why you are confused. That is why you are lost. People talk about Kanye West being in a sunken place. Yes, there is a sunken place for those who have sold their soul. You sell your soul, that's what you get. Candace, I know you mean well in your own mind, but you are being deceived and misled. You talk about the Democratic Party. We all know where the Democratic Party started from. We all know how they was down during slavery and after slavery, and how the Democratic Party became the Democratic Party of today. But their policies have not changed. The Republicans. Oh, well, the Republicans freed the slaves. No, they didn't. Abraham Lincoln emancipated the slaves that was in the states that was in rebellion of the Union. Those that rebelled against the Union, those that seceded from the Union, that's why the emancipation was written up. But even Abraham Lincoln was a racist. And he knew that black people and white people in this country would never live in peace. He knew that. And he was trying to devise a plan, just like everyone else was, how to get us back to our roots. But what they didn't know, what they didn't tell the truth about, is a lot of the so-called African Americans, they're not African Americans, they are Native Americans. They are indigenous people to North America and South America. Black people have been all over the world. We was here before anybody else came here, Candace Owens. And we will be here when everybody is gone. Okay? Let's get that straight. You made some points about fathers being out of the home, but what about the fathers that are in the home, that are abusing the children, that are sexually abusing the children? Huh? You didn't make no mention about that. There's a lot of that going on, and the fathers are in the home. The fathers are pimps. Some of them, not all of them. You need to know what you're talking about, young lady. I am 31 months short of turning 50. So I have lived long enough to say what I have to say. And Candace Owens, you are wrong. That's the only thing I can say. You are wrong. And you are wrong for talking about Maxine Waters. Maxine Waters been on the front lines way before you was in fucking born, way before you was in thought of. And since you want to talk about Maxine Waters, why don't you talk about your parents? According to you, your grandparents raised you, your grandfather. Okay? So where was the parents? Where was your mother? Where was your father? Absentee parents? That's why you lashing out on other black people? That's the only thing I can see. I can't see nothing else. You are lashing out on black America and you trying to make it a national thing. And girl, what you are doing, you are making yourself look like a clown, because there's plenty of people that will disagree with what you said. I don't agree with none of what you said. Only thing about what you said, the father is absent from the home. And those that remain in the home, what are they doing? Because half of them are living off of women. Those that ain't living off women ain't even in the home with the child. They come get the child or paying child support. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about, Candace Owens? Are you in touch with your parents? Girl, you are so lost and you are so off the point of what's really going on in this country. You really are. You're a beautiful young lady. You smart. You're intelligent. But you up under this white man. You know you would remind me of a Jim Jones follower. You know who Jim Jones is, right? Girl, you better look at your history again, baby. Cause you ain't doing no reading, you ain't doing no research, you ain't doing nothing but being a parrot for these white supremacists. You are being a parrot for these racists. Girl, you are terrible in our eyes. I like you, I respect you, but I just can't agree with you. Especially when you talk mad crap about Maxine Waters. Maxine Waters been out here all these years. She was born in 1938. The woman is 81 years old. She's not going anywhere until God calls her, until the universe calls her back. She's not going anywhere, and she wants to service her people. You do not agree with what she's doing. So what? Nobody cares, Candace. Nobody. People love Maxine Waters. You are, what are you trying to do? You with Trump. But did you know that Trump's father was a Ku Klux Klan member? Did you know that Trump and his daddy stopped black people from getting housing in New York and their towers and their buildings? They would not even rent to black people. I'm talking about Manhattan. I'm talking about Brooklyn. I'm talking about Westchester County. Please. Are you talking about he did so much for black people? What has he done? Nothing. Nothing. And you know that, Candace. Look at the young lady that was on The Apprentice. The black young lady. Omarosa. That should tell you what's going to happen to you. That should tell you what's getting ready to happen to you. Since you want to ride with these white supremacists, you want to ride in their car. You don't want the black man to get any kind of recognition. But you know what, Candace, is coming a day. It's coming a day. And you talked about a few years ago you were suffering from anorexia. So that means you have a mental illness. You don't have a low IQ, but you have a mental illness and it needs to be treated. It's not being treated. Then people probably told you not to go get treatment because they already know you're on a verge of a mental meltdown, just like Kanye West. because you guys sold your soul. You sold your ideas. You sold out your family. You sold everything you could sell, and you have nothing. You have nothing left to give. And in a little while, they're gonna call you a bed wench. You know what a bed wench is? You better look it up. You better read that book, Roots, by Alex Haley. You better read the autobiography of Malcolm X, written by Alex Haley. You need to read about Angela Davis. You need to read about Harriet Tubman. You need to read about every black woman that has been in this country. You need to read about these racist doctors that was doing experiments on black women during slavery, even after slavery. One of our sisters went through that a couple of years ago because she registered to vote. This was during the 60s. They put her off the plantation she was living in. Do you know anything about that? Do you know who I'm talking about? When she had a tumor inside of her, she went to a doctor to get the tumor removed. Don't you know if they removed the tumor and her uterus? Removed the tumor. She died a few years later. So I'm thinking they didn't remove the tumor. They left the tumor there and just removed her uterus. They killed Emmett Till. Did he have a police record? Was he ever arrested for anything? They put him